Ayaan Hirsi Ali is a woman who really abandoned Islam because she didn't feel like morals should restrict sexuality. And she liked to get intoxicated. She tries to say that it's because of things done by people that were called Muslim that are not supported by the Quran or what is attributed to Prophet Muhammad as having been taught. Getting into this popular and political Islam thing that has been going on for the past 60 years. But that's a very weak argument. By her own admission, she is a liar. She is a provocateur. She hides the fact that certain things are more common among secular people. They're even more common among Christians and Jews and certain other communities. She became more famous because people wanted a spokesman. And the, what's the guy's name? The Theo Van Gogh. Theo Van Gogh and her had a program called Submission, Part 1. And it was broadcast on Dutch television in August of 2004. And on November 2nd, 2004, he was killed in the streets. Now, as you may remember from earlier in the year, I have clearly pointed out that there's no such thing as an Islamic punishment by people of, inflicting harm or killing people because of blasphemy, because of disbelief, because of apostasy. The Quran refutes this. There's other sayings that back this up. But in this poem, she tries to make it like, there's verses of the Quran. Well, people can say, it says the same subject, so we're going to say, we're going to do ritual genital mutilation because of the fact that the Quran says that Abraham was tested. But it also says things weren't created in vain. Wouldn't it be creating things in vain to chop off a part of your private parts? Or someone else's private parts? Isn't that what's basically being said? Every single one of these verses that she says it doesn't support these abusive or wrong behaviors. She supports prejudice against immigrants, against people thought to be of Muslim background. She gives the example of her own sister, who had quite a hard time because she gave her life over to entertainment and neglected her religion because of it. Now, she was so obsessed with TV and all that stuff that she was even harder on herself than just missing prayers. That's really her own thing. It isn't because, religion was part of the life, and therefore, if she completely gave up and just slouched in front of the TV, she would have been like, perhaps she wouldn't have, she would have been less stressed if she wasn't trying to, I got to do something with my life. But it's good for people to want to do something with their life. We should wait till crimes occur. We shouldn't advocate for the stripping and searching of immigrants and Muslims because of, there may be something, so in order to catch a little bit of crime. That's far more of a crime to do to everybody. I'm very supportive of this not doing the whole unlawful search and seizure thing. And she kind of brings up the biblical thing. Now, honor killings, forced marriages, death penalties for different religions. That's a Bible thing. And there's still people today that follow a fundamentalist or conservative interpretation that leads to certain offenses against self and others. And you can connect this to Judaism, Christianity, and some other religions. You don't find honor killing or forced marriages in Islam. You don't find any Muslim majority country that has these things legal. If anything, they're much, much more strict on these things. And why not just, but she criticizes the right-wing idea of government having less interference in, what you do in your own home. Marriage, less taxes, stuff like this. She's very, if anything, you could say she's left-wing. She wants censorship and control and stuff like this. But then again, she doesn't want censorship in things that might stir up violence from religious people. And that's why she's done stuff. It is completely fair for people to go on the defensive, and I am, of course, doing this sort of thing, is I'm going on the defensive, and not in the way of, I'll kill you. No, I'm going on the defensive of any person, path, or group. If people are outright lying against a group or saying something that's not true, there may be individuals or aberration from certain maxims or whatever, but I am not going to be supportive. You can not like a group or whatever, but if you're lying about a group, if you're reporting falsehood, something that's, something that's, particularly offensive. Disagreeing, there's a difference between disagreeing and having a different path and offensiveness. And one point, I guess, that could be, two points, I guess, related to this book that we have left to say. I should show the book more, I guess. But two more things is that, one, the perfection of humanity, the perfecting. We all make flaws, but working towards doing as good as we possibly can with what we have is quite a noble idea, don't you think? And it allows the more people that are out there working for this, the more they can turn from their Western secularized societies and take in those values. Now, am I saying they should force religion on other people? No, I'm not saying that. The Quran would not support forcing religion on other people. Wars of mere conquest and conversion. It doesn't support that. And it also, Islam, in saying that the Quran is a finalized guidance, she talks about variations. Some linguistic variations where in one dialect you use the letter noon instead of meme, or seen instead of sod. I think there's a few others like that, but as another program that I'm going to do not too long from now, I guess, shows, it doesn't amount to any contradictions like you have with pretty much every chapter in the Bible that you find variations. I guess there might be some chapters where there's no variations, but not in Genesis, nothing in what they call the New Testament. And if people are half following a principle, that's, sometimes you need every bit counts. But you can't say, well, no sex outside of marriage, and so we're going to do everything else wrong to try to put this forward. We're going to mutilate people. We're going to keep people locked up in cages and all sorts of stuff. And no. It's not the fault because there's some ideal like sobriety or something like this. But that's the danger. It's not the conservatives and the fundamentalists in the Islamic world so much, because she doesn't really support what she's going against in any way, staying away from science or anything like that. No, you won't find that really there. But the liberal and the reform, or progressive as they would be called, is really where her argument would have. And she kind of says something in a double tone sort of way, as the people who support the terrorist, it's phrased in a way that can indicate that she knows that she's somebody who supports the terrorist. Just let people believe or disbelieve what they want. You can make arguments for or against things, but there's an approach to have in life. There's an approach to approach things. And emancipating these countries from their corporate and other dictator-like rulers might be a better step to work towards.